Gemglow. The Cookie Cat rap song that Steven sings was made on a Nintendo Game Boy. Laser Light Cannon. Discounting the pilot, this is the first episode to be produced. Cheeseburger Backpack was the second episode to be produced, and Gemglow is actually the third one.
If every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.
Cheeseburger Backpack. This is the first episode where the main setting is not Beach City, as most of the episode took place on the Lunar Sea Spire. Together Breakfast. This is the first episode where Steven's enhanced strength ability is shown, as he was able to force together the breakfast in its mutated state into the lava pool without the other crystal gems' assistance.
I have to burn this too.
Frybar. This is the first episode where Garnet and Amethyst are absent, and second time that Pearl is defeated by a condiment. The first being Together Breakfast, where she is defeated by a possessed Together Breakfast with whipped cream.
That's unusual!
Catfingers. Estelle, the voice actor of Garnet, said that this is the least child-friendly episode, but it's actually her favorite episode of season 1.
I guess cat fingers don't function well as fingers.
Bubble Buddies. Animation mistake. Steven places the glow bracelet on Connie's left arm. When they surface the water, the bracelet is seen on her right arm. Serious Steven. Inside the strange maze, before Steven causes it to flip over, there are murals depicting the traps that lie within the maze, as well as a picture of Rose Quartz battling with what looks like a diamond.
Shh, just look at him.
Tiger Millionaire. The poster of Steven and Amethyst was drawn by Nick DeMaio's daughter, according to Steven Universe Art and Origin. Nick DeMaio is the animation director for Steven Universe. Steven's lying. The window to the right side of the beach house appears to be missing once Pearl announces that the Desert Glass was rebuilding its castle.
You're not lying, are you?
Arcade Mania. One of the arcade cabinets was of Lakewood Plaza Turbo, a Cartoon Network pilot to OKKO Let's Be Heroes, created by Ian Jones Quartley, the creative director on Steven Universe. Giant Woman. When Amethyst accidentally knocks Steven off of the floating platform, he briefly turns into the simplistic render used after Garnet's complicated explanation of how she summons her gauntlets in Gemglow. So many birthdays. In Cartoon Network Philippines, the part where Steven said,
"But a boy on the cusp of manhood can't spend the whole day whackering,"
was censored and cut out of the show. Lars and the Cool Kids. In early development, this episode was called Steven, Lars, and the Cool Kids. Onion Trade. Animation mistake. In the first scene, after Steven opens the front door, the door is suddenly closed and cuts to close-up shots. Then it reopens itself in overhead shots. Steven the Sword Fighter. During Pearl's regeneration, the silhouettes of Pearl's past forms can actually be seen. Lion 2, the movie. The title Lion 2, the movie, is a play on the phrase Lion to the movie, which was also Steven's primary goal in the episode.
Anyway, let's go to the movie!
Beach Party. When Nanafu's debuted, all characters in the opening sequence are now accounted for in the series. That's so cool. Rose's Room. The tiny floating whale is also voiced by Susan Egan, the voice actress of Rose Quartz. Thus, unbeknownst to Steven, the whale spoke in Rose's voice when asking him what he really wants.
Garnet! Ow.
Coach Steven. This episode was actually released in South Korea, Canada, Latin America, India, and Bangladesh way before released in the United States. Talk about being late to the party. Joking victim. It is revealed through the storyboards that Petey Fryman and Mr. Fryman were said to appear in this episode with speaking lines, but their scene is cut due to time.
You mean you don't make them here?
No, not since the accident.
Steven and the Stevens. Greg Universe and Yellowtail were seen together for the first time, both having the same voice actor, Tom Scoblin. Monster Buddies. This episode marks Larimer's first appearance, An Indirect Kiss. In many countries, the episode's title was changed from An Indirect Kiss to Steven's Power to make it sound less suggestive of a kiss.
You don't have healing tears. You'll never have any real magic powers, and we don't want anything more to do with you.
Mirror Gem. This marks the second time Pearl uses her dance to summon an item from a gem. This dance was first seen in Lars and the Cool Kids episode, Ocean Gem. According to Ian Jones Quarty, this episode was believed to be the last episode of the whole series due to the show not being renewed at the time. House guest. At the end of the episode where Steven is in bed, you can see the cover of a volume of Sailor Moon, depicting the main character, Usagi Tsukino. It's nice to know that the boy knows peak.
There's no need to be so pathetic.
Space race. Pearl's space uniform has a pink diamond on it. This could be leftover from the time when Pearl served Pink Diamond. That's some nice foreshadowing. Secret team. Animation mistake. When Garnet picks up her drink in the pizza shop, it's full. After she takes a sip and sets it down, it's half empty. But in the next frame, it's full again. Island Adventure. This is one of the most heavily censored episodes in foreign countries for Steven Universe. The entire scene of Lars and Sadie's exaggerated kiss was replaced with a shot of Lars crying. Sadie forcefully pushing the sharpened stick deeper into the invisible corruption when she realizes it didn't die from her initial stab was cut. The scene where Sadie slaps Lars and says, "You kissed me on the mouth," was also cut.
You trapped me on an island so you could come on to me.
Keep Beach City weird. The television network call sign seen in the lighthouse, KBCW, is a real channel, being a CW affiliate in the San Francisco Bay Area. Fusion Cuisine. The episode was originally named Fusion Crime, but was changed to Fusion Cuisine. Sounds weird, and I'm so glad they actually changed it.
No dinner for 1,000 years. 1,000?
Garnet's Universe. After Garnet's training, the Korean symbols that appear on the background are Hangul for Min, which means beauty and beautiful woman. Watermelon Steven. For the first time, a different ending song is played at the end of the episode that mainly utilizes percussion instruments. Lion 3 straight to video. It was revealed that the episode was originally going to be Greg filming Rose. However, Joe Johnston and Jeff Liu pitched the idea of being reversed because she was so fascinated by him and so in love with him. Warp Tour. Animation mistake. When Garnet is holding the tray of cookies, there appears to be 8 cookies on the tray. When Amethyst eats the cookies, she actually eats 9. Alone together. The party goers in the cloud were modeled after the Crewniverse, the test. The congratulations scene is a reference to the infamous ending scene of Neon Genesis Evangelion, wherein each character clapped and individually said congratulations to the main protagonist, Shinji Ikari, with the opening theme song playing in the background.
Congratulations.
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 Future Vision. Steven making a sandwich of lettuce, sliced cheese, and mayonnaise is a reference to one of Rebecca Sugar's well-known animated short, Singles. The short is about a character who experienced extreme anxiety, which may be a reason the short is referenced in this episode. The book series that Steven likes, The No Home Boys, is based on the children's book series, The Hardy Boys, and The Boxcar Children. Horror Club. This episode was originally going to be called Beach City Horror Club, but 6 days before it aired, it was shortened to Horror Club, though it's still called by its former name in various international dubs.
And you threw me away!
Winter Forecast. Doug has a car resembling a Volvo of the early 200 series. These cars are somewhat commonly used by young people to cause their car to slide on icy patches and snow and play around with during the winter months in Sweden. Maximum capacity. The lyrics to the theme song Little Butler were muted as of the May 14, 2016 airing. However, they returned as of the August 31, 2019 airing. Marble Madness. In the early drafts, Marble Madness was originally titled Gemjoy. In these drafts, Steven fell down a hole in the cotton garden and got trapped with a single Robonoid.
There appears to be an infestation of Stevens.
Rose's Scabbard. The episode was originally going to be named Rose's Secrets. The message. It is seen from inside the van that Craig possesses many records, one showing the 1977 cover of Queen, News of the World album. Political Power. This is the first episode to not have a song as the ending theme. Instead, there is only static. Opal's outfit has changed since her last appearance due to Pearl's regeneration. She now has her bow. Jailbreak. There was some controversy when this episode first aired in France. This is because the song Stronger Than You was incorrectly translated at first. The song had been translated to make it a song of Ruby and Sapphire's friendship rather than their relationship. This caused outrage among French fans of the show, believing the change in meaning to be a form of homophobic censorship. However, it actually appeared to be a simple error in translation. The French version of the song was redubbed to retain the original meaning. Full disclosure, Garnet's outfit from Jailbreak is still worn here. It is confirmed by the storyboard artist Joe Johnston that Garnet got redesigned after fusing again in Jailbreak.
I could be
The crocodile!
Open book. The video game shown in Steven's room at the end of the episode appeared to be Animal Crossing and The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker.
What did you think of the ending?
I thought it was on page 917?
Joyride. Buck says he only wanted to see Steven laughing in the pizza rain. This is a paraphrase of lyrics from Purple Rain by Prince. Say Uncle, referring to Steven's gemstone. Uncle Grandpa's line, you should make sure to get this thing polished at least twice a year, foreshadows that Steven's gemstone is not a rose quartz, but a pink diamond, as diamonds are one of the few gemstones that are advised to be polished twice a year, while quartz do not need to be polished at all.
Good morning.
Shirt Club. When Mayor Dewey finds Buck Dewey's old drawing, he mentions the fact that Buck couldn't wait to show all his Montessori friends. Montessori schools, established in many places worldwide, introduced an alternative educational approach designed to teach children who have difficulty learning in a typical regimented classroom environment.
You know I gotta gank that youth vote, boy.
Dad's.
Love letters. Animation mistake. Steven's left hand is backwards when he raises it while discussing Garnet's relationship.
I am not, nor will I ever be interested. Go away.
Reformed. A bottle of Lon Lon milk from the Legend of Zelda series can be seen on the kitchen shelf shortly before Amethyst reforms for the final time.
You're right. This is much better.
She's doing Pearl.
Sworn to the sword. Connie's training outfit resembled Gohan's outfit from the Saiyan Saga and Namek Saga from Dragon Ball Z.
Why won't you just let me do this for you, Rose?
Rising tides, crashing skies. Ronaldo uses Comic Sans for his title, a font notorious for being used by amateur graphic designers. Keeping it together. The two socks seen at the very end were red and blue, which is a reference to Ruby and Sapphire.
Don't want to break up a pair.
Yeah, you're right. They belong together.
We need to talk. In Steven Universe Art and Origins, an early idea for the concept of the episode is shown. Originally, Greg would find Steven and Connie kiss instead of fuse. Also, in the flashback, he would have seen an attempt by Pearl and Amethyst to fuse into Opal, which he interrupted by making too much noise. Chilltide. The title translates roughly to chilling time in Danish and in Norwegian bookmark. Matt Brunette has stated that the crew got the idea for the title from an overseas commercial for a regular show.
Whoa! Whoa!
Cry for help. Unlike all the other episodes, this episode does not end with a star-shaped iris closing in on a specific object. Keystone Motel. Shortly after the episode had aired, Google reviews for an actual keystone located in St. Pete Beach, Florida were written by fans of the show. The dishonest reviews made reference to the episode, such as complaining about how their toilet was frozen, how their pizza was square-shaped, and how the pool had completely evaporated during their stay. This activity was brought to the attention of the Steven Universe crew. Ian Jones-Corti and Matt Brunette both appealed to the fans when they asked about the ongoing incident.
Well, in that case, road trip!
Road trip!
Road trip.
Onion Friend. The girl's toy Triangle Girl is a pink inverted triangle, a symbol, sometimes used as gay rights symbol. Historical friction. Joe Johnston confirmed the fusion that saved William Dewey is the original Obsidian fusion of Rose, Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl, after her counterpart with Steven appeared in Change Your Mind.
If you need a great actor, you come to the right guy.
Friendship. When Pearl first engages Peridot at the Galaxy Warp, Peridot traps her in a bubble that completely stops her movement, swings her around, and throws her backwards into Steven. This is similar to the villain syndrome of the 2004 Pixar film The Incredibles, who uses zero-point energy to create a field of quantum energy that inhibits the majority of a victim's bodily and physical movement. Nightmare Hospital. This episode, a new song or lyrics for the ending theme played during the credits, entitled Nothing Like You.
Do you know how many children I see every day in the hospital who've cut their faces off playing with swords? None! Because they all have parents who love them.
Say this song. In this episode, Mr. Smiley isn't voiced by his usual voice actor, Sinbad, but by Colton Dunn instead. Catch and Release. Garnet is shown to use her electrical powers as an offensive power for the first time.
It won't work. Trust me, I've tried.
When It Rains. This episode aired on Cartoon Network's 23rd anniversary. back to the barn. This is the first episode of what the writers unofficially named the Barn Arc. Too far. The concept of errors is first introduced in this episode when Peridot refers to an injector as Error 1.
Hey, Peridot, what do you call this?
A scent sponge.
Huh? Okay.
The answer. This episode aired on Charlene Yee's birthday, the voice actor of Ruby. She also said this was her favorite episode to voice. Steven's birthday. Album Greg pulled out of the box had the same album cover of A Star's Shine, with the artist instead being named Stella, momentarily breaking the fourth wall. Could have been great. The global map of Earth observed in the moon base doesn't quite match our real-life Earth, including a conspicuous large crater indentation of the coastal line in Siberia, the African continent being smaller, Australia being nearly split in two, and the Horn of South America being larger. Sugar has previously mentioned that the Earth seen in the cartoon has a slightly alternate timeline from real life, to greater and lesser degrees due to the presence of the gems affecting history.
Yeah.
Message received. Ian Jones Courtney stated via Twitter that he wanted this to be the episode that is the mid-season finale of Season 2. Log date 7/15/2. In the planning stages of the episode, a scene where Amethyst teaches Peridot about eating is drafted. However, it never made it past the storyboard process due to cuts for time. Super Watermelon Island. The opening sequence is an echo of the opening of the first episode of Lost, including the shot of the palm trees with the camera straight up and the unexpected dog.
You got this, dude. You know the drill.
Gemjo. In the jail cockpit, there are words in Russian Cyrillic saying numbers, Control 1, Parameter 2, and Circuit 3. This is a reference to the Russian MIR Space Station Command Control Panel. Same old world. In Empire City, a billboard reading Darkcopter, Turn Off the Bark can briefly be seen. This is a reference to the musical Spider-Man, Turn Off the Dark.
It's actually 2 more hours to the cluster.
Oh, wish I'd brought some tunes. Thanks.
Barnmates. This is Ian Jones Courtney's last episode as supervising director, most likely to create OKKO, Let's Be Heroes. Hit the diamond. From the 4th episode of the Steven Universe podcast, Rebecca Sugar stated that this was the episode where all the voice actors of the same episode were present to voice for the first time.
Ruby! Sapphire!
Hugs! Hello, Steven.
So, what's the plan?
Steven floats. Sadie says, alas, poor Steven, I knew him well, which is a reference to the William Shakespeare play, Hamlet. Drop beat dad. Ian George Courtney makes a cameo in this episode as a member of the crowd.
Oof, just look at you. When did you get so tall?
Like 9 years ago?
Whoa.
Mr. Greg. Shelby Wabara, Peridot voice actor, is also a dancer who provided the audio of Pearl and Steven tap dancing in the song Mr. Greg.
Ooh, you ruined the song!
Sorry, guys.
Too Short to Ride. Shelby Wabara also revealed this is her favorite Peridot episode.
Cute roommates in your area.
I'm all set, thanks.
The new Lars. This is the only season 3 episode to physically feature Lars.
I'm Lars! I'm Lars!
Beach City Drift. This is the first episode to feature 3D animation.
No! We're about to witness the true power of the Supremo!
Oh.
Restaurant Wars. This episode reveals that Ronaldo has a girlfriend named Jane who was first seen in Line to the Movie as the woman behind the ticket booth at the film theater. Kiki's Delivery Service. This episode has an overstock of references to anime. The episode title is a reference to the Studio Ghibli film Kiki's Delivery Service. After clearing Kiki's mind of the cheese, 2 pizza slices can be seen over the horizon as Kiki and Steven look out from the store. This is a reference to the famous ending of the animated film and the end of Evangelion.
Me? Now that is nasty.
Monster Reunion. A tower center Drew is similar to the Spirit Tower from Adventure Time, a show that Rebecca Sugar has worked on before. Alone at Sea. The episode features a new ending theme. Greg the Babysitter. This is the first of 2 episodes in the series where Steven's name goes unsaid, the other being Buddy's book.
Oh my gosh! Vidalia's gonna destroy me!
Gem Hunt. While Steven says this is Connie's first mission, Connie has in fact been on a gem mission before. She went with the gem to try and get the ocean back in Ocean Gem. Crack the Whip. This episode marks the first time that Stevonnie engages in combat and fights using Rose's sword and shield, effectively combining Steven and Connie's fighting styles. Steven versus Amethyst. When Steven and Amethyst are choosing which character to play as for Lonely Blade, one of the playable characters is a polar bear resembling the ice bear from Cartoon Network's We Bare Bears.
Don't say that! Whoa! That was great!
You think that was on purpose?
Bismuth. This is the first official half-hour special of the series. Previous half-hour special events were 2 episodes combined and aired together. Because of this, the episode has a unique title card. The episode begins immediately after the opening theme, and the title and credit cards are not displayed on a separate card, but instead are superimposed over the action. Beta. The episode was met with controversy upon its release. The fans of the show became confrontational with the former show writer Jesse Zook on Twitter due to the perceived subtext hinting at a romantic development between the characters Lapis and Peridot within the episode. On August 12, 2016, Zook deleted their Twitter account, likely as a result of the preceding controversy. Earthlings. This episode is the first to have the title card with the Beta Kindergarten as the background. This episode shows Amethyst bubbling a gem on screen for the first time also.
Yellow diamond?
My diamond! Your diamond! Pink diamond!
Back to the moon. As Lapis Lazuli lets Leggy out of her water sphere, she says, "Leggy, come on down." This is a reference to the signature line of the game show, "The Price is Right." Bubble. Rose Quartz's identity as Pink Diamond was revealed in a single pale rose was hinted during this scene, where Eyeball states that Steven's gem has more of a pinkish tint rather than the usual reddish pink that Rose Quartz normally had.
That's more of a pinkish red than a real rose quartz reddish pink.
The Kindergarten Kid. The raw sound effect used for the corrupted gems bubble by Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl at the beginning of the episode is taken from the Varactyl, a reptilian creature from the Star Wars universe. Know Your Fusion. This is the first canonical episode to feature a 4th wall break, with Say Uncle being the first to do so. However, in Say Uncle, Uncle Grandpa himself admits that the episode isn't canon. Buddy's Book. This is the second of 2 episodes in the series where Steven's name goes unsaid, the other being Greg the babysitter.
7 lions? Please, don't eat me!
Mindful Education. Here Comes a Thought is the first song sung by Stevonnie, the first duet by Garnet, and the first song of season 4, and this episode ends without an iris close. Future Boy Zoltron. Another arcade machine has the name OKKO, a reference to Ian Jones Courtly's animated series of the same name. Last one out of Beach City. Pearl's cool clothes resembles Jesse Zook's bad pole drawing. Onion Gang. This episode makes a number of references to the video game Undertale. Soup loosely resembles the character Frisk. The bug race in the show references its snail racing minigame Thundersnail. Steven makes another reference to Undertale when he says, "I guess this run of Onion Tail comes to an end." Gem Harvest. Greg's birth name, DeMaio, is the same name as Nick DeMaio, an animation director of the show as well as this episode.
You call me Uncle Andy. I'm an uncle. I can't believe it. Greg, you little turd, how come you never told me?
3 Gems and a Baby. This episode name is a reference to the 1987 film 3 Men and a Baby. Steven's Dream. The movie which Steven and Greg are watching at the beginning of the episode depicts a blue alien with a spaceship bearing 3 diamond symbols, abducting a cow. This is most likely foreshadowing the way Blue Diamond abducts Greg later in the episode. Adventures in Light Distortion. Most of the interior scenes in the roaming eye traveling at dangerous speed were inspired by the Stargate scene of the 1968 sci-fi film A Space Odyssey.
Why doesn't she ever tell us anything? This is why we don't listen to her.
Gem Heist. This is the first episode the Earth does not appear in. The Zoo. The Zooman's Earrings music cue is a direct reference to the announcement musical cue heard when waiting in line for Disney's Star Tours ride. That will be all. What's the Use of Feeling Blue is the first song in the series sung solely by Homeworld Gems.
Pearl, do something. Sing for her. Make her feel better.
Yes, my diamond.
The New Crystal Gems. Peridot acting as Garnet and Lapis acting as Amethyst could be a possible reference to the fact that the voice actors Shelby Rabara and Jennifer Paz initially did auditions for Garnet and Amethyst respectively. Storm in the Room. One of the games Steven owns was called Cosmic Engagement, a reference to the real-life board game Cosmic Encounter. Ronaldo. When Ronaldo was speaking to Steven after leaving, he quotes a famous line from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's rough, buddy. You want me to put that in the Renault Flit?
That's rough, buddy.
Tiger Philanthropist. When this episode was released, this was the first episode to dip below 1 million viewers. Room for Ruby. When Steven observed Navy driving the roaming eye, he states that the crystal gems finally have a pilot, seemingly forgetting that they already have 2 pilots with Pearl and Peridot. Line 4, alternate ending. This episode revealed that Greg and Rose had planned to name Steven Nora if he was born a girl. This is connected to Rebecca Sugar's own life, as her parents also wanted to name her Nora. Connie's disguise is similar to Carmen Sandiego from the video game of the same name, while Steven's disguise resembles both Mario and Luigi from the Mario franchise. A short snippet of each series theme can be heard in the background. The Good Lars. On the walls of Lars' kitchen, there is a drawn picture of an AT-AT Walker from the Star Wars franchise. Are You My Dad? An image on the Dream Ghost movie box resembles the iconic pottery scene from the 1990 film Ghost. Am I My Mom? It was revealed that Sony made the song that she and Steven danced to in Alone Together her ringtone.
Was that Connie's phone?
Stuck Together. This is the first episode where Topaz is shown to speak, despite appearing previously in I Am My Mom and Are You My Dad?
I don't know what Topaz would do if she didn't have Topaz.
The trial. This trial also acts as foreshadowing for the Pink Diamond reveal, as there is a contradiction with Blue Diamond's assertion that Pink was shattered with a sword. In the episode Bismuth, Bismuth claimed she forged the sword such that it couldn't shatter gems.
You can cut through a gem's physical form in an instant, destroying the body, but never the gem.
Off colors. The scene where Lars flies backward, hits his head on the wall of the kindergarten, and falls to his death after exploding the shattering Robonoid has been censored in many countries. Lars' head. After disappearing in Lines 4 alternate ending, the star iris that closes the show returns. Jury wins. This is the first episode to officially mention Lars and his parents' last name, which had been previously revealed in the book Keep Beach City Weird, You Can't Handle the Truth.
Lars Barriga? Mr. and Mrs. Barriga's son? Did you even know he was still missing?
Gemcation. Ronaldo mentions Princess Koala Princess, a character who appears in the series OKKO Let's Be Heroes, a show made by Rebecca Sugar's husband.
Well? No messages from Connie.
Raising the Bar. This episode marks the second time Lapis leaves the Earth.
I am not getting caught in the middle of another war.
Back to the kindergarten. This is the first time Smokey Quartz has bubbled a gem. Sadie Killer. This episode shows the paper money in Steven Universe world has a diamond symbol instead of a US president. The Visa credit card company exists in the Steven Universe world.
1 dog nut, medium well. 1 coffee with milk and sugar. Hold the coffee.
Kevin Party. 301, the area code of Steven's phone number, is a real-life area code in Western Maryland. Maryland is where Rebecca Sugar is from.
Yeah, 301 555.
Here, you enter it.
Lars of the Stars. This is the first time Connie and Lars have interacted on screen since Connie's debut in Bubble Buddies.
Hey, you know, speaking of Earth, your parents put this together for you.
Oh.
Jungle Moon. This is the first episode where an alien species other than the gem appears. In this case, the non-sentient fauna and the bird-like aliens on the Jungle Moon. Your Mother and Mine. This episode marks the first on-screen appearance of White Diamond, though she's not directly mentioned and only her hand and silhouette are shown.
Who wants a party sub?
Big Show. During the band's performance of Ghost, Sadie is shown making sure to carefully turn off the microphone before dropping it on stage, a technique used to avoid microphone feedback. Pool hooping. This is the second time in which one of the crystal gems works at the Big Donut, the first being Steven in Joking Victim.
I never thought I'd see you working here.
Have we fallen on hard times?
Letters to Lars. The idea that Garnet and Greg play tennis together on weekends was first jokingly suggested by episode co-writer Lamar Abram in a 2016 interview about the season 6 premiere. Can't Go Back. Or when Pearl holds Rose's sword, a part of the melody of Do It For Her can be heard.
Mom's sword?
A single pair rose. A packet of sugar with the brand Rare Sugar can be seen alongside the large variety of items stored within Pearl's gem, which is most likely a reference to Rebecca Sugar. Now we're only falling apart. This is the first time a gem is seen emerging from a kindergarten.
Incredible! We gotta get down there and check it out. What?
What's your problem? While Steven and Amethyst are shown throwing missing Ruby posters from a teacup ride in Beach City, Funland, a woman and a child resembling Lisa and her son Sasuke, respectively from the Studio Ghibli film Ponyo, can be seen on the left.
No idea what she could... Why would she be a cowboy?
The question. This episode was based off a trip Rebecca Sugar took with her brother Steven Sugar for her 29th birthday to Joshua Tree. The scene where Ruby falls off the cliff was inspired when Rebecca drove her car into a ditch in the desert during the trip. Maid of Honor. Peridot and Bismuth are shown interacting with Ruby and Sapphire for the first time.
Is anyone gonna introduce me? Let's give him some space.
Reunited. This is the first episode in which both Blue and Yellow Diamond appear without their respective pearls. Legs from Here to Homeworld. This is Amethyst and Connie's first visit to Homeworld.
Pink Diamond, your presence is required.
Familiar. Pink Diamond calling a group of pirates fool's gold is a reference to how it is the alternate name for the said gemstone. Together Alone. As of this episode, Yellow Diamond has proved 10 gemstones on screen. The gems were defending and persecuting Zycons, Peridot, Lapis Lazuli, Ruby, Sapphire, Pearl, and Amethyst, and 2 Jades.
Not a bad turnout, Pink.
Escapism. The 2 Watermelon Steven tribes are a reference to the characters from the Dr. Seuss story The Sneetches, in which the tribe that has stars discriminates against the tribe that does not have them and vice versa. Change your mind. The concept of Steven being separated from his gem and then reunifying fusion of his physical body and gem was originally going to happen in Giant Woman, before the Crewniverse came to the conclusion that it would be too soon for that to happen.
Answer me.
She's gone!
Steven Universe Future. Little Homeworld. Connie's pose while sitting down looks similar to the Lo-Fi Girl, who's featured in the Lo-Fi hip-hop beats livestream videos, which in turn originates from the 1995 anime film Whisper of the Heart, a known favorite of Steven Universe creator Rebecca Sugar. Cartoon Network later uploaded an official study with Connie parody video featuring the shot. Guidance. Storyboard revisionist Nicole Rodriguez and Lina Nitura made cameos in this episode as 2 people in the Ferris wheel at Funland.
Well, sometimes you save all the people, but the roller coaster still crashes into the ocean.
Rosebuds. The Zoomans are no longer wearing their earrings as they are now in charge of the zoo. Volleyball. This episode confirms that the formerly corrupted quartzes do have eyes, despite not being visible, as one manifests on Biggs Jasper's finger when her gem is cracked. Bluebird. A painting of the crystal gems with Cat Steven is seen in place of where the rose painting was before by Steven's room.
No! What?
A special episode. Amethyst leans on the 4-4 by mentioning she has not seen Steven in 11 minutes, about the average length of an episode.
I just miss you, man. I haven't seen you for like 11 minutes.
Snow Day. The episode was accidentally released on Google Play prior to its television debut, but it was taken down shortly after. Why So Blue? Nice Lapis has golden freckles, a reference to the pirate specs on real-life Lapis Lazuli. Little Graduation. This episode marks the last physical appearance of Lars.
I guess it's kind of cute how bad you don't want me to leave.
Of course I don't want you to leave.
Prickly Pear. The premise of plant being inadvertently brought to life, growing rapidly and wreaking havoc is likely a reference to the musical Little Shop of Horrors. In Dreams. Despite being in a dream, this is the first time since the time skip that Connie is shown with her hair down and without hair clips. Bismuth Casual. This is the only Steven Universe Future episode and the last episode overall in general where Uzo Aduba voices Bismuth.
Camshafts is the place to bring your wreck.
Get your car repaired for cheap and fair without risking your neck.
Together forever. This is the first time Ruby and Sapphire appear in their new forms after their regeneration and change your mind. Growing pain. In the Dark Copter 6 trailer, Drew's name might be a nod to Drew Green, who also storyboarded this episode.
Is this what I think it is? Dogcopter 6, till death do we bark.
Mr. Universe. Carrie Moonbeam, the artist that Greg listened to, is a reference to English rock star David Bowie and his famous Ziggy Stardust character and album, 16 Fragments. This episode was based on the episode idea Ian Jones Corti had for the original series.
My diamond.
Homeworld Bound. According to the Cooniverse, Chet and Flint were two characters who were supposed to be part of the Off-Colors. Everything's fine. Starting with this episode, Miriam Hyman voices Bismuth, since her main voice actress, Uzo Aduba, did not voice Bismuth in the last 3 episodes.
No need for a giant mallet where a humble hammer will do.
19. I Am My Monster. This is the only episode to take place outside Steven's point of view without someone telling him the events of the episode. The future. This is the first time Pearl is shown voluntarily eating.